Hello guys, in this video you're gonna learn how to upload an object to the S3 bucket, and the object can be anything. That can be an image, video, PDF or anything else. You can upload to the S3 bucket. I have made a simple bookstore application where it will send an image to the S3 bucket and stores the book name and the author to the MongoDB database. So this is a working prototype. You can add a new book. So you can add the name of the book, author, and upload an image. Click on the submit, it will give the new book. You can see here the Atomic Habits book is now it will store this image to the S3 bucket. See here, this is the URL. Copy paste here. You can see it stores in the S3 bucket and hosts it on the S3 bucket. It will give the new URL. You can also update it or delete it. When I delete the book, it also deletes the image in the S3 bucket, as you can see here. I will show the working flowchart, how this works. So when a client send an image or a file to the Node.js server, this Node.js server will send the image to the S3 bucket and which will hosted on the internet and sends the URL to the Node server. Then the Node server will store the URL to the MongoDB database. You can use any database. I used MongoDB, and when the client asks the URL again, it gives data to the client. This is how it works. And the method of the S3 bucket is put, get, and delete, and there is no post patch method. So I'm gonna show the simple Node.js application which is running on the port 5000. I have used Express.js to create an API. I have made 5 API endpoints. The first one is the books, which will call all the books in the database. And the second one is get one book, which will call single book using an ID. The third one is to create a book. And the fourth one is to update the book using ID. And the fifth API endpoint is to delete the book. So in the book model, I have created a schema contains 4 elements, that is name, author, image URL, and the key. Key is required for to delete or update the image URL. So that's why it's required. And all the type of this is strings, and all are required. This is a book control where it contains 5 methods. That is get all books, get one books, create book, update book, and delete book. In the create book, which will create the new book, it takes 3 items, that is the name, author, and the file, and we will give the name as image/v4. I will tell you why I did this. It will send if I haven't found all these 3, we will send the error, and we require the URL and the key from the cloud, and we will write this code here. If we not found the URL or the key, we will send an error message to the client. So we will create the document in the MongoDB, that is the name, author, and we will store it in the database. If we not store, we will send the error. After the success, we will send the success response. So for the update book, we will require the ID, the name, and the file, and we will find the book by using the ID. If not found, we will send an error. We will also upload the file to the S3 bucket for the updation of that book image, and we will also update everything, that is image URL, key, author, and name. If not updated, we will send an error. If updated, we will send a success message. So in this delete method, we will take ID and we will find that book in the database. If not found, we will send an error. So we're gonna write an code here for the S3 bucket. If the object is not deleted, we will send a error message. If deleted, we will also delete that book data in the database. If not deleted, we will send an error. If deleted, we will send a success message. Get all books, we will find everything in the database and we will sort decreasing order. And if not found the book, we will send error. If found, we will send the success response. For getting one book also, we will get an ID. We will find the book in the database. If not found, we will send. We are also writing the get method to get an object from the S3 bucket. We will send a success message. Let's go to the AWS account. Search IAM. IAM is used to access the S3 bucket to store an object. So open up the IAM and click on the users. Click on create user. Create name. I'm gonna name it as bookstore. Click on next. You need to create a user group now. So click on the create group. I will name it as book group and you should give permission policies. I will give only S3 full access to get an object from the S3 bucket or delete put methods. So we need to give the permission. Create user group. So select the book group. Click on next. So create user. Click on this bookstore. You need to create an access key. So click on this create access key. So click on this local code. Click on the checkbox. Click on next. Create access key. You have to copy this access key and secret key. Copy this and paste it in the environmental variable. I will paste here. So also copy the secret key. Click on done. Click on continue. So after creating IAM user, open up the S3 bucket. Click on the create bucket. Give a name which should be a unique name. So I'll give bookstore M. Click on this ACL disabled. Uncheck this block all public access because we need to access that S3 bucket. Click on this acknowledgement. Click on the create bucket. Don't change anything. So after creating this, go to the bookstore bucket and open up the permission tab. So we need to edit the bucket policy. Click on the edit. We need to add a statement here. So click on the add new statement. So give S3 bucket. So click on this S3. Type get object. Select on get object. Put object and delete object. And also add resource. Select type resource object. Give bucket name. That is bookstore M. And for the object name, give star to it because we need to access every object in that bucket. So click on the add resource. Let it be SIDB statement 1. Change this principal to star to save changes. Come back to the server.js. You need to install some packages. So type npm install. One is Express file upload and another one is AWS SDK slash client S3. We need to install these two packages. After installing these two packages, we need to call the middleware in the post method, which is a file upload. It is from the Express file upload package. Also in the patch, call that middleware. Let's create a new folder. I will name it as util. Create a new file which is s3 credential.js. You need to export a method called s3 client. Before doing that, come to this .env, give a AWS S3 bucket name. I have given bookstore m. Come to the client. Let's export S3 client. Call this S3 client. Give the region which is in the environmental variable. AWS region. Give the credentials, that is access key. So it's .env.aws access key. We also need to give secret key, secret access key, that is secret key. After giving this, we need to create a new file in the utility, that is put object, to upload S3 object. On the enter, let's export this put object, which is an asynchronous function. It receives file and the file name. So let's mention a try catch block. Console log if we catch an error. So let's create a params, that is a parameter, and also we should create a command, put object command, where we'll send the params to it. What are the parameter requires is, that is first one is a bucket. We need to give the which bucket we need to store that. That is AWS S3 bucket, and we need to give the key. Key is the file name where it should be unique, and the body which will contain the file data. We have to give the content type. So we are uploading an image which can be a JPG or JPEG or PNG. You can also send video just by uploading this as video MKV or MP4. You can upload, or if you want to upload a PDF, so write this as application PDF or docx, which is a document, or Excel. You can send this. After creating the parameter and also creating the command, we need to send this command using S3 client. So I will store the data and I will await this. We need to import this S3 client method. We need to send the command. So after sending it, we need to check the response status, which is 200 or not. Metadata dot HTTP code, if not equal to the 200 status code, we need to return, should not return anything. And we can create URL manually. It will start with HTTP, then AWS bucket name, then .s3 dot AWS region slash image name. Parents dot key is the image name here. We need to return this URL and the key. We can also console log the URL to check it's working or not. So we need to call this method in the bookstore. Let's call the put object URL and the key. We're gonna await put object. So we need to add the two parameters or the two arguments, that is file.data and file name. So file.data will contains the data of that file, and the file name should be the unique one. So I am using the UUID package, which will generate a new string. File name contains image slash, which is a folder name, and v4 is the unique name of the image. So let's call this add new book, give the book name and the author name. We can upload the file, make habits, submit it. Yeah, now it's working. It also gives the URL of the image. Let's check this. Yeah, it's from the AWS S3 Bucket. Now we're gonna use the same thing for the update. So const data. I'm gonna delete this let. Const data await put object file.data, and need to give the key name here, book.key. Why I'm giving the book.key is we are updating the file or the image where it should have the same file name to update it. So there is no patch method in this S3 bucket. Create a new file in delete object.js, exports dot delete object, which is an asynchronous function, takes only the key. So in the try block catch, we're gonna console the error. So we should create the parameters and also command in delete object command. Send this parameter and we receive the data S3 client. Send this command. The parameters requires are the bucket name, env dot AWS S3 bucket, and the key name. We see the key. So we're gonna check it is working or not by checking the status code. TP, if it's not equals to 204, then we should return the status as the 400 and the data. So if it is equals to 204, then we only return this status. Let's come back to the delete object and we're gonna call that data and await delete object. We need to pass the key. So we received from the database, that is book, and we're gonna send that key value. So let's check it. Let's click on the delete. Yeah, it's deleted now. Also we're gonna check the update, it's working or not. I'll click on the update, and I'm not gonna update the book name and the author. I'll simply upload the image. I'll upload a different image. Yes, now it's updated. Let's come back to here. We need to create a get object. So let's create a file in a utility. That is get object.js exports.getObject, an asynchronous function which we need a key to get an object or get an image from that S3 bucket. So we need to create a params, so where it needs bucket name dot env dot AWS S3 bucket, and the key value. Also need to create a command variable, create a new get object command and pass the param. We receive the data, await that using this model S3 client and send this command. I'm gonna console log this data by doing this. It should be in a try catch block. Console dot error if anything catches error. We don't need to return anything here because we don't need this get object. We are receiving the URL from the database. For your references, I am creating this get object. I'll go to the get one book method, just await get object and send this key. When I click on the update button, data will be console logged. As you can see here, all these are data received from the get object. You can also see the images in the bookstore bucket. Just refresh it. So in the image, you can see these two. Thank you for watching, guys.